Oh, who's intro?
I'll intro.
Okay.
Oh wait, you intro.
Okay, you intro, of course.
Yeah. Oh, did arms today? Did a pump for the video, bro? Gotta get the size on.
On that note. On that
Got
note.
my kneel on.
On that note. I don't know if you saw this. It made me chuckle.
You're no liquor. I was discoveries of Virgin Accident. Yes, I could clap. Surely time tonight. Don't smoke like away. Only you wait for. Oh, I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Dude, every white guy you've ever met has said like all of these things.
Chilling tonight, let's do.
Yo, the surely tiger tonight. That one got me.
I can hear it. I can hear him saying it. Like that's the best part. It's there. Oh, good lord.
Don't smoke like that.
Just stretching so I can put this in an outtake because I did arms today. Oh man. Okay.
You don't have the logo, do you? Is the
I do.
logo up? Does it matter?
No.
Okay.
Unless we're thinking we're missing out
2
on
million
sponsorship
views.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, can't be giving Apple all this free money. You're gonna pay everyone.
Okay.
We just keep dropping that we use Apple Music until someone from Apple contacts us about some sort of endorsement deal.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to listen to the Star Wars podcast. Did you manage to edit out all the salt?
Yeah.
Okay, because there was.
It just seems like we're more subdued than usual.
Oh yeah.
It seems like we start off really enthusiastic,
And
then at the end we're just. It seems like we're so tired of talking about Star Wars. We're like, jeez, bro. Like, okay. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Like, we'll be less salty when we rank them.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah. That's... Okay. Hey!
Wait.
Welcome to Overthink. I am Keegan,
I'm Ezra.
and today we're discussing the Good Music rollout.
Yes, we are.
5 albums scattered across 5 weeks.
Was it 5 weeks?
I think it was. Yeah, it was one per week.
Mm-hmm.
All helmed by Kanye West, production-wise.
He helmed it deep.
Yeah.
It's a Lord of the Rings reference in your...
in a Good Music video. Shit.
It's quite an epic.
Yeah, it is. So, what do you think overall?
Overall, I think it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Do labels do this? Is this the first? I'm
never
remiss
heard
to
of
call it the
before.
first, but I've never heard or seen anything like it.
Kanye has done something similar. In 2010, he did something that they called at the time Good Fridays. Yeah, where he rolled out a track featuring a whole bunch of Good Music members every Friday leading up to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So that reminds me quite a bit of this.
I Don't Like was on there, yeah.
Hey?
That remix of I Don't Like.
Yes, that was there. Yeah, that was great. That was
was
really
good.
exciting.
Yeah.
And then My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy coming at the end of that was just that was heaven if you were a Kanye fan back then.
Build up to an amazing crescendo.
Oh yes. So yeah, you were. What do you think?
I guess, yeah, an ambitious idea. Coordinating this many artists, this many albums in such a short space of time. I mean, we're assuming. I don't know exactly when they started recording or putting them all together, but in my mind, the ambition and the scale really gets away from the project. And as a whole, I don't think I would say that I loved all of it. and I think I'm still sticking with albums should take a little bit longer and get more polished and
Fair, yeah. That's fair enough. I mean, he put in the slavery choice line somewhere. I can't remember which album it was on, but that just shows you that he was updating this thing.
Yeah,
so
that was on
close
Ye. That was on Ye.
Was it on Ye?
Yeah.
Yes, it was on Ye. So I mean, it's not something that took a lot of time, it seems.
Unless it was all part of marketing, and he had wrote that song planning on saying that in order to promote the album that he referenced it, which is a clever idea if that's the intention.
Yes, and it's very Kanye to do something like that. I guess my thoughts, again, like you said, really like the idea. I think it's, that, like I said, it reminds me of that Good Fridays thing, and that brought back some really cool memories. But overall, kind of underwhelmed. I think there's one terrific project, there's one very good project, one forgettably average project, and two absolutely trash projects, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I would say, I'm probably with you. I think there's one really good project. There's one decidedly average project, and then there's three forgettable projects / trash projects.
Okay.
It really does depend on if you're willing to listen to it enough to realize how trash it is.
Okay. So I'm like really good and really trash, and you're like squeezed in the middle there. It's more all sort of average, and that makes sense.
Bit. Yeah.
But we got a good start.
We did.
Really good start.
We did.
With Pusha T's Daytona.
Pusha T, Daytona. It's been a while since Push put out new music.
Yeah. What is it? 2013?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some songs.
Yeah.
That he's like featured on. But I think, and this is my thinking, is that is the reason that this is the best one. Is because he's had a lot of time to, he didn't start writing, these raps when Ye called him up and said, hey, we're going to be doing these things. Push has been working on some stuff, got the opportunity, and then if you've got these kind of verses and you've got an aesthetic and you've got such a set image that Pusha T does, very easy for Kanye to create beats that suit him.
Yes.
And I think that's done the best on his project. Is it really seemed to suit him.
Yeah. For me, I think the production on all of these albums is a lot more minimalist than I expect from Kanye, in my opinion. Like, gone are the sort of layers of vocals and samples and all kinds of lush production, and most of it is pretty minimal. But I think it works on this album.
Yeah.
I think it really, really works on this album. And this was terrific. And obviously the subtext, the Drake beef is added to what makes this album so.
I think we could the song that launched 1,000 memes.
Yeah.
And it was a great track too.
Yeah.
I think in general, this is actually an album that I would listen to almost all the way through.
Yes.
The only song that I didn't really love was Hard Piano.
With Rick Ross?
With Rick Ross,
okay.
yeah. Didn't hate Rick Ross's verse. I think it's a little bit... I think the title annoys me a lot. It seems like what you would call a beat when it's in development. Like you play the piano, then you put these like 808s behind it, and you just call it Hard Piano.mp3, and then we'll come up with a song title later, and they just called it Hard Piano, and then that was their aesthetic for the song.
Yeah.
And it kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah.
Just that one. But after Hard Piano, so bear with me, I'm just gonna look at the track list here. But Comeback Baby, Santeria, What Would Meek Do, Infrared. Oh, glorious.
Oh.
Just a glorious run, and it makes me wish that Hard Piano wasn't in there, because I like the first couple tracks too. If You Know, You Know, and what's the second song? The Games We Play.
Yeah.
Really great tracks. So if you can, I just made a playlist on my iTunes and I took Hard Piano out. That is an amazing listen.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I mean, I guess that is a bit of a negative because it's a very short album. So to have a misstep is a bit orkies. But it's not like, the one song in the 14-track album, because that's amazing. But one track in 7 is actually quite a large percentage of the album.
It is, yeah.
But I think it's very punchy, it's energetic, the tracks are short, doesn't take itself too seriously, even though it is classic Pusha T talking about dealing drugs. That's probably also my only other gripe, is that he does get a bit one-note with his lyrics, but he's never pretended to be anything else.
Yeah.
So it's not as if I expected something else and then I got to this Pusha T character.
Yeah.
I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And I think my second favorite moment on the album was the "Yay, how do you respond?"
Yeah.
Scoopty whoop. Whoop just whoop. Because that was a great reference to what we were all really worried was going to be a lead track from Yay. So yeah, all in all, I thought great album.
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement. I don't even have the hard piano gripe. Like,
Oh really?
so for me, this is just
Okay.
straight up fire. Yeah, it's what I expected from Pusha, and it's more focused than I've heard Kanye on production in quite some time, and it's refreshing. You know, I mean, it comes at a time where he's just been all over the place mentally, and you know, for something this focused to come out in the midst of all that is great. And yeah, I think this is a terrific project.
Truth.
Moving on to...
And then just, which one? Comeback Baby has a cough interlude. No, it doesn't. Comeback Baby has this really gritty, hard, Yeezus type beat. And then the interlude is this beautiful, like, college dropout soulful.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that for me, I just really liked. It was this cool marriage of old Kanye and older Kanye. Not really. Because I guess new Kanye is different from what it used to be. Because that was like from before Life of Pablo. But yeah, I really like that track. And I think if I had to rate Daytona, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
That's more than I expected. Yeah, I'm going with probably an 8.5.
8.5.
8.5. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah,
cool.
That was a great start. I mean, from here we...
It could only ever have gone down from
here. And in your opinion, it has in a big way.
Truth.
Moving on to... Yay.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you think?
Yeah, very underwhelming. Yeah, this was so average, and I've never walked away from a Kanye album just sort of a week later forgetting the whole experience. Like, I just didn't know how I felt about it, like, a week later, and just nothing to come back to, really, apart from the odd, like, banger here and there, like, yikes, and on All Mine. And I think he's trying to drive this whole unstable persona down our throats at this point. Like, how many more times are you going to speak about that?
Yeah.
And it's just getting a bit stale in terms of lyrical content for me. It's something he's covered so many times, and at this point it's more on the nose than it's ever been. And that's just, no, not for me. Yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm in the same boat as you there. I think production-wise, absolutely nothing special, nothing memorable.
Yeah.
Even Kanye albums that might rank lowest on your ranking, there are still, in my mind, from every album, always songs that you will say are just on that god tier of production.
Always.
Because we agree that's what he does best. He is a genius producer.
Yeah.
And that's why this was most disappointing, because you'd think that with all these albums, he'd be saving a couple of those really steezy beats for himself, and he didn't, which was weird. I agree with you on the lyrical content, like the subject matter. The only thing that I thought was interesting was the first track. I like that because it's the kind of brutal honesty that seemed real.
Okay.
Like, that's the only thing... I guess that approach to that subject, speaking about it sort of frankly, in that sort of conversation, seemed like the least attention-grabbing mental illness part of the album, because the rest of it does get a little bit over the top. So that seemed like less of an advert for Kanye the crazy guy asking you to buy into it, and just a nice opening song. And it leads you in, seems like it's opening the window into his psyche, like, oh, we're going to get this interesting like retrospective look at how we got to this place, and then you really don't.
You don't, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really interesting take, and then the rest of it's like, I'm bipolar, it's a superpower, crazy. You don't know what I'm doing. I'm unpredictable, Kanye. And then he tops it off with like just the song we've heard from so many rappers about, I treat women so bad, I'm this crazy guy, now I have a daughter, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
But the way he says it, it felt to me like he thinks he invented it. Like he's the only person who's ever had this revelation. Like it's not an issue that just men have had and always will have if they live that sort of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think the pretentiousness of this album is my biggest problem with it.
I think he's sort of riding on the fact that he thinks he can get away with anything with the hard Kanye fans. I think there are people out there that he could release pretty much anything, and they just put it down to, that's just some Kanye gimmick, and
I think about all the in defense of Scoop-de-Whoop articles and tweets I saw.
But even bigger than that for me is beyond that track and maybe one other. Most of them sound like the filler tracks on all his other albums, or bonus tracks on all his other albums.
Yeah.
So, just completely underwhelmed. Nothing memorable about that.
Yeah.
Album at all.
A lot of it sounds like a work in progress, like ideas
Yeah.
that would build into an album.
Yeah.
Which is again the issue with this rollout that seemed to, like this probably could have been a really tight project, a really like cutting edge sort of album if he had wanted it to. It seemed like the release was more important than the final product. Yeah. So what would you?
This one just felt like he spread himself thin across the 5, and this is where it hurt
the most. You think this is where it hurt the most?
Well, okay, it's not where it hurt the most, but it shouldn't have hurt him at all on his own album. Like this should have been the standout.
I think it hurts the most because it's his, but I don't think it's the weakest.
It's not.
All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking 5.5 out of 10.
All right. I'm thinking of 4.5.
Okay.
I just can't. I can't in my mind give it a 5. I can't pass it. I feel like it doesn't deserve a pass, even though there are there's some passable moments on it. As an album, it just really doesn't hold up because we can't look at it in a vacuum. So considering his catalog, 4.5. So I guess we'll give it a 5 out of 10. Damn, I haven't had to say that out loud. But yay, 5 out of 10.
Cool. Moving on to Kids See Ghosts.
Kids See Ghosts. You're gonna have to take the driving seat on this one.
You just have no opinions on this one.
No. It's not that I have no opinions on it. It's that...
that forgettable?
No, but... So we've mentioned that this was a rollout that happened. It happened in amongst other albums coming out.
Yeah.
And especially today with... Whoa. Especially today with all the things vying for our attention. Plenty of exciting projects coming out. New artists... really grabbing you with some stuff. When you listen to something as forgettable as I found Kids See Ghosts, I found it difficult to make myself, go back to it. So I actually only ended up listening to it the once. I really tried. There are some moments that I liked because I'm a Kid Cudi fan. Yeah. And I'm a Kid Cudi fan who only likes one Kid Cudi album.
Okay. That's possible. I can see that. Yeah.
But you kind of get what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm a really big fan of Scott Mescudi as a person. I'm a fan of the way that he makes music and his opinions towards music and the stuff that he's saying. I always resonate with, which is why I think I'm such a big fan.
But you just never feel he's had a good project other than the one.
Yeah, albums are not his thing, man. They're just not. And I felt the same way here. There were a lot of Kid Cudi moments that I really liked. There were some moments where I thought, why on earth is Scott Mescudi singing here? Because this Kid Cudi just, it was hurting me. It was hurting me. And I wanted the song to end. And I just had that moment too many times of me going, geez, can this just end? And I didn't want that feeling again. I'm not into abusive relationships. I decided to cut myself off. I won't go back and be hurt again. You know? I'm thinking about myself really.
All right.
Yourself?
I really like this one.
Okay.
Yeah. I think though that if you had told me in 2010, hell, even 2013, that Kanye was producing 5 albums back to back, and one of them was a Kid Cudi and Kanye collab, I mean, that would be probably the greatest day of my life. But the fact that I wasn't excited about this in 2018, it says a lot. Having said that, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I think I really liked the energy. I liked a lot of the lyrical moments felt a lot more relatable and earnest than they have from Kanye over the last few years.
Kid Cudi's influence, I think.
Probably Kid Cudi's influence, yeah. I just think the only thing, or the main thing I faulted on is that those melodic moments that you're so used to hearing from their tracks together, I just don't think that ever hits on this album. That's not the reason I like it, and it's the reason I expect to like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we're used to Gorgeous and Father Stretch My Hands Part 1 and
Proof.
You know, All of the Lights, that sort of thing. Every single track that they've worked on together, that's always been great. So I think this album is missing that. But having said that, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay. Any songs here that you think will live on in your?
Yeah. Reborn. Really like Reborn.
Okay.
Fourth Dimension. And a few others. I mean, there's only 7.
Yeah, they're all short albums.
Yeah, they're all really short albums.
In this case, that's a good thing. In quite a few of them, it's a good thing. Yeah, so I'm not just singling out Kids.
Yeah, and the closer as well. I can't get to the name now. We're really bad with song titles.
Yeah, it's hot. We listen to too much music. That's the real problem.
Yeah. The closer is really good, and the opener with Kanye. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I will give this a 7.5.
Wow,
yeah.
7.5?
7.5, yeah.
Okay. I think the only reason that I didn't completely hate this album was, the fact that it's when Kanye talking about, his mental health and his issues actually did feel real, as you mentioned. We've always had that from Kid Cudi, that's always been there. And that also continues through into this album. So that's kind of that feeling. I think genuine is better than polished fake. So that's the reason I like this more than Yay.
Yeah.
And I'll give Kids See Ghosts a 5.5.
Okay, cool. So combined score of 6.5 out of 10. Not the worst.
Yeah. Not bad. Getting off to another highly anticipated album.
Really?
Yeah, no, really it was. Not for you, as you can clearly see. But yeah, Nas fans have been waiting a very long time for the Nas album. Before Nasir happened, I can't remember who said it, but the album's done was something that I see people saying, like repeating and mentioned in interviews and whatever. I don't think this is that album. I have no doubt that this is not the album that Nas has been working on and slaving over for years. Wow. Not a chance.
Okay.
Not a chance. He's got something else kicking. And I think it was just Kanye saying, we've got this rollout we're doing, I want to do an album with you, we knock 7 tracks up in 3 minutes. I mean, obviously the album's long. Couldn't have recorded the album in 3 minutes, just without the time stone.
They did everything they needed to do and then just looped the rest.
Just grabbed sound bits from old bars and stitched them into new verses. Yeah, I think that this isn't what I'm gonna judge Nas on. Not that I'm a massive Nas fan, but I'll give you the 4. What did you think of Nasir?
Jeez. I've listened to it once, and it really just, there was nothing. There was no pleasure I took from listening to it. I feel like my main problem with it is that so much of the subject matter he's rapping about as if he was the first to rap about it, so you can excuse any sort of smart delivery. Because you know, if you listen to old rap from the 80s and the 90s, when they were rapping about things for the first time, they weren't technically great.
It was a learning process,
yeah, exactly. And that's what this album feels like to me. And so many of the statements are so on the nose that I'm just like, people have rapped about this recently in so many better ways, and then someone that's so highly respected comes up with an album like this.
Yeah.
Just the repeating what those rappers have already done in a worse way, and not much here for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I think I agree with you there in that my introduction to Nas was, I know it's quite late, but probably in about 2006 or 7, I want to say. Someone gave me an iPod and I had to use Music Rescue in order to get the music off of the iPod. And one of the albums on there was Illmatic.
Okay.
And I listened to that probably like 6,000 times that week.
You've spoken about it 6,000 times since.
I remember The World Is Yours being on Tony Hawk Pro Skater Underground.
Okay.
And that playing while my little Ezra avatar was skating up in that backyard. And I don't know, I have a lot of memories. And that being his debut album, just the level of absolute savagery and lyricism and storytelling, just bar for bar, unmatched in that moment. To think that his career, after learning from that, coming to this point could lead us to this album was a massive disappointment.
Okay.
I think, it's so weird to say because obviously I don't want people to not talk about issues.
Yeah.
I don't think police brutality is something that shouldn't be rapped about because we've heard it before.
Yeah.
But if you're saying something, you've got to find a way to do it differently.
Yeah.
Or to make it unique to you.
Yeah.
Make it Nas, his statement. The way that Killer Mike talks about police brutality is different from the way that Vic Mensa talks about police brutality, is different from the way Chance the Rapper addresses police brutality, or Kendrick, etc. Yeah. But all of these guys have these really nuanced takes, and you can tell it's them from the get-go. And I feel like Nas's take on this seems like he's been living in Latvia for the last 17 years.
I couldn't explain it better. That's exactly how
But
I
has
feel
just
about
absorbed Twitter comments and thinks that this is how he's supposed to say it. And as much as, Kanye has really gotten off the rails at the moment and he's saying a lot of stupid things, and I wouldn't call myself a Kanye fan, right now. I just appreciate his older music and I always will. But he's still making statements that are him. Like, is bad, we've discussed that. Yeah. But it's Kanye. It's very much Kanye. Yeah. And this didn't feel like Nas. It just felt like rapper on beat. Yeah.
So that just backs up your point about this perhaps not being the project that.
Yeah. I just cannot believe it.
You're being very optimistic though.
Probably. Yeah. So, but I think beat-wise, there are a couple of kind of interesting things.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I really love the Richard Pryor intro into the one song.
Okay.
Because I absolutely love Richard Pryor, and it was really funny because Richard Pryor could explain getting coffee and I'd laugh.
Yeah.
He's what comedians are all trying to be. I don't think anyone's really hit that type of greatness again. Not for Radio and Cop Shot the Kid. I like them beat-wise, but it's one of those things where the beat started getting associated with this just humdrum run-of-the-mill verses, because when the song started, Cop Shot the Kid, after the Richard Pryor kind of intro, the beat comes in and I was like, oh, I'm feeling this, where's he taking me? Nowhere. It took me nowhere. Yeah. It took me around the corner, it was a dead end, and he was like, welcome. Wait, this is nowhere, Nasir. Yeah. Not Nasir, that's not his name. Nas. Silencio. And it really just continued like that for the rest of the album.
Yeah, like you say, some musical highlights here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so overshadowed by some rudimentary lyrics and some bland ass delivery.
Yeah, phoned in.
Ugh.
Absolutely phoned in.
Yeah. Like Harrison Ford in Return of the Jedi. Just phoned in his performance completely.
The Force Awakens too? Like, if we're going to be very honest. We're back at Star Wars again. We can't not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
Rating?
You know, it sounded like maybe I like the album more than you. But the only reason I was listening to it over and over again is because I was just desperately searching. Going, this can't be... There's got to be something here.
Mm.
And what I initially thought was a nugget of something special that I was hearing was just my longing.
Mm.
And it wasn't there.
Mm.
So I think I will give Nasir a 4.5.
Okay. Yeah. For me, this is a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. Not much else to say that hasn't been said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna give that a 4.25. 4.3.
4.3. Round it up.
Because you made Elmatic.
Yeah. I'll give you the point. 0.05.
Okay.
Yeah. On to the final release. KTSE by Teyana Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teyana Taylor, what are you...
I mean, I haven't really tracked her career as an individual artist over the years. I mean, she's had some great features on Kanye projects, and that's pretty much the extent of my familiarity with her. I've heard the odd single here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably the first full album of hers that I've actually given my time to. And yeah, I wasn't too impressed.
Yeah. I think as much as we've discussed Kanye as a bit of a all over the place guy, he doesn't really co-sign people if he doesn't believe in them.
Yeah.
I've never heard Kanye recommend someone that was just bad, you know?
Yeah.
He surrounds himself with a lot of people as one needs to as a producer if you're trying to get different influences and work with different people, but Kanye's never told me to listen to someone that he didn't really like.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hype around Teyana Taylor.
There is.
And probably mostly because Kanye's, you know, just really said this girl is the next, you know, this is the next big thing. So I think I definitely went in with some expectations.
Yeah. And I mean, she's brought us some great deliveries on Kanye tracks in the past.
Yeah. So that there was the idea that, you know, something cool would be here. And probably if I was a fan, probably would be the most disappointing album of the bunch. But just because I didn't really know her, I thought, not good.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah. I think that its biggest crime is being absolutely forgettable. There are moments that I talk about on Nasir, Kids See Ghosts, that I really don't like. I don't even have that with this album.
Okay.
I can't even say, you know, when this track hit this moment, I didn't like it. I just don't have that feeling for it.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's almost a bigger sin. Like, if
Sorry.
if I don't have, I can't even.
Restart that so you can edit that.
Yeah, I think just not even being able to latch onto something to hate is worse than being a bad album.
Yeah, I'm firmly of the opinion that something that's forgettable is much worse than something that can be hated. Much worse.
And in this rollout of all these albums, you know, they're dark and edgy, a lot of them, or they deal with this, you know, mental illness issues. It's just such a safe, non-risk-taking, run-of-the-mill R&B album.
Yeah.
And if Kanye is producing something for a female vocalist, you're expecting something cool at some point.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any Kehlani, Janelle Monáe, Twigs, all these cool, like, female vocalists who are really doing some great, interesting, experimental stuff sonically.
Yeah.
All of that, you could have even copy someone, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And I really think Kanye sold it down the river with his production.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's probably I'll go one better. There's one highlight, and that's that Rose and Harlem track that has a really good sample. That's sort of the refrain. Other than that, I think I'm with you. A run-of-the-mill subject matter as well. Which I guess we can expect from an R&B album. There are very few R&B artists that give us something to think about these days. But if that's the case, the production has to...
Yeah, give me something to bounce to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this doesn't, besides that one track for me. So yeah, the whole... The 5 albums sort of end on a bit of a whimper.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I think I'm inclined to rate this 5.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rate this a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, 4.5 out of 10 for the final.
For KTSE?
Yeah.
Yeah. There a bit of controversy. She was quite vocal in an interview about her disappointment with the album and how she wasn't happy with it, how it came out, how it sounds, and then, subsequently made another statement saying, not taking shots at anybody. Thank you so much, Kanye, for the opportunity, etc., etc. All I'm saying is, I want to do better for the fans. I know you guys have been waiting for stuff from me. I want to give you guys good music, and she's been working on something else. So even Teyana Taylor doesn't like it, which is it says something.
Speaks volumes. Yeah.
And I think says something about the label as well. And in my mind, the reception to these releases is not a good sign for the future of good music.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're very much in a vacuum here. There might be loads of other people that love it. I mean, I know that Kids See Ghosts has been received very well, and Daytona.
And Daytona as well.
Has.
And Yeah will always be what a Kanye album is, whether it's good or bad.
Yes,
that will always happen.
Yes, yeah. And there are people out there saying that Yeah is like a return to the old Kanye, which is nonsense. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah. So that's the good music rollout. Ups and downs.
Mostly downs.
Mostly downs.
Yeah, very much a roller coaster.
Yeah.
In that, starts off uphill.
Yeah.
And then just kind of goes. Sometimes the loops take you back to another high place before it drops you down again.
Yes.
And at the end, you just feel a little bit sick.
Yeah. There's one thing we could say is we like the idea of it.
Yeah.
And if more labels could do something like this, with
definitely
better execution, we'd be down for it.
And it's possible. Weird example, but Tom Misch. He did a 5-day EP called The 5-Day Mission, where he had a different person in every day, made the song that day, mixed, and put it out.
Yeah.
And it's a really great project.
Yeah.
And it's possible for someone with as much talent as Kanye. Obviously, a lot of personal stuff going on.
Yeah.
Dealing with a lot of rappers is probably a little bit more difficult than Tom Misch making songs with his friends.
Of course.
Logistically, but I would be open to another rollout like this in the future, if only to see maybe this goes somewhere cool with more of a tight theme and focus.
Yeah.
Something great could come out of this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the whole, good music album rollout.
Yeah.
Probably not the best. Couple of albums to check out if you'd like to. If you're a fan of any of these artists, you'd probably find something you like.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wouldn't recommend breaking the bank on it.
100%.
Yeah.
In agreement.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in on the YouTubes. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I don't even think there's a discussion to be had about these albums. But let me know what you think about my appearance in the comments, because I really enjoy it when people do that. Join us again for more mediocre reviews in the future. Thanks.